Most people over 60 are waking up every morning, drinking their coffee, and unknowingly doing something that is slowly stealing their muscle, their strength, and their independence. And what's even more shocking is that with one tiny addition to that same morning coffee, you can begin sending a powerful signal to your body to rebuild muscle instead of losing it. And no, this is not a drug, not a supplement fad, and not something expensive or complicated, but something simple, natural, and deeply aligned with how the body was designed to heal and regenerate. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why muscle loss after 60 is not inevitable, why coffee can either work against you or for you, and what that one simple addition is that can completely change the message your body receives every single morning. Now let's clear something up right away, because there is a dangerous myth floating around that says muscle loss after 60 is just part of aging, that it's normal, unavoidable, and something you simply have to accept. And this belief alone has caused millions of older adults to give up far too early on their strength, their balance, and their vitality. But the truth is, muscle loss is not caused by aging itself. It is caused by changes in signals inside the body, changes in nutrition, digestion, inflammation, stress hormones, and blood sugar. And when those signals are corrected, the body can and does rebuild muscle, even in the 70s, 80s, and beyond. Barbara O'Neill has spoken many times about this idea that the body is constantly rebuilding itself every single day, as long as it has the right building materials and the right instructions, and muscle tissue is no exception. But here's where things get interesting, because one of the most common morning habits in the modern world, drinking coffee on an empty stomach, can actually interfere with those rebuilding signals if it's done the wrong way. Coffee itself is not the enemy, and in fact, it can be incredibly beneficial, but how you drink it and what you pair it with makes all the difference between muscle breakdown and muscle repair. As we get older, our bodies become less efficient at something called protein synthesis, which is the process of turning amino acids into muscle tissue. And at the same time, levels of inflammation tend to rise, digestion becomes weaker, stomach acid often drops, and stress hormones like cortisol remain elevated for longer periods, especially in the morning. And all of these factors together create the perfect storm for muscle loss, even if you think you're eating enough protein. Here's the key point most people miss. Muscle is not rebuilt simply by eating more protein. It's rebuilt when the body can digest, absorb, and utilize that protein effectively, and when the hormonal environment tells the body that it is safe to build rather than break down. And this is where that one simple addition to your morning coffee becomes so powerful, because it works on multiple levels at the same time. In the early morning hours, cortisol naturally rises to help wake us up, and that's normal. But when cortisol spikes too high or stays elevated for too long, it sends a catabolic signal, meaning it tells the body to break tissue down, including muscle, for fuel, and drinking black coffee alone on an empty stomach can amplify this cortisol response, especially in older adults whose stress response is already more sensitive. Over time, this repeated morning cortisol surge can quietly contribute to muscle wasting, weakness, and fatigue. Now imagine if instead of triggering a stress response, your morning coffee became a signal of nourishment, stability, and rebuilding. Imagine if it helped lower inflammation, support digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and provide raw materials for muscle repair, all at the same time. And that's exactly what happens when you add this one thing to your coffee. That one thing is high-quality collagen, ideally from a clean grass-fed source, or even better, homemade collagen-rich broth that has been gently dried or concentrated, because collagen is not just another protein, it is a foundational protein, rich in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, amino acids that are critical for muscle repair, connective tissue strength, joint health, and gut lining integrity. Now, some people immediately say, collagen isn't a complete protein, and they're right, but that's also why it's so effective in this context. Collagen does not compete with muscle-building amino acids like leucine. Instead, it complements them. And when consumed in the morning, especially with coffee, it provides the body with stabilizing amino acids that calm the nervous system, lower cortisol, and prepare the body to use protein more efficiently throughout the rest of the day. Glycine, one of the main amino acids in collagen, has been shown to have a calming effect on the nervous system. It helps balance blood sugar, supports deep sleep later at night, and most importantly for our topic today, it counteracts the muscle-wasting effects of cortisol. So instead of your morning coffee pushing your body into breakdown mode, collagen turns it into a rebuilding signal. Barbara O'Neill often emphasizes the importance of supporting the gut first, because if the gut is inflamed, damaged, or weak. Nutrients simply pass through without being properly absorbed, and collagen is one of the most powerful gut-healing foods available. It helps repair the intestinal lining, reduce inflammation, and improve the absorption of all nutrients, including the protein you eat later in the day. And this is critical after 60, when digestive strength naturally declines. Another major issue with muscle loss after 60 is insulin resistance. Even in people who are not diabetic, cells become less responsive to insulin, which means glucose and amino acids have a harder time entering muscle cells, and when that happens, muscle repair slows down dramatically. But collagen, when taken in the morning with coffee, does not spike blood sugar. It actually helps stabilize it, preventing the highs and lows that contribute to insulin resistance and muscle breakdown. Now let's talk about something very practical. How exactly do you add collagen to your coffee in a way that actually works? Because not all collagen products are created equal, and not all methods are beneficial. First, the collagen should be unflavored and free from artificial sweeteners, flavors, or additives, because those chemicals can irritate the gut and negate the benefits. Second, it should dissolve easily in warm liquids, which most high-quality collagen peptides do. You simply add 1 scoop, usually around 10 to 15 grams, to your freshly brewed coffee, stir it well, and drink it as you normally would. And what's remarkable is that collagen has almost no taste. It doesn't ruin the flavor of your coffee, and within minutes, your body begins receiving those calming, rebuilding signals. Some people like to add a small amount of healthy fat as well, such as coconut oil or grass-fed butter, which further stabilizes blood sugar and provides sustained energy. But even without added fat, the collagen alone makes a profound difference. Now let's address the question everyone asks: can this really rebuild muscle, or is it just supportive? And the answer is that collagen itself does not directly build large muscle fibers, but it creates the internal environment that allows muscle rebuilding to happen. And that distinction is critical. Muscle is not rebuilt in a hostile, inflamed, stressed environment, no matter how much protein you consume, and collagen transforms that environment. Think of it like preparing soil before planting seeds. If the soil is dry, compacted, and depleted, seeds won't grow. But once the soil is nourished, hydrated, and balanced, growth becomes natural and almost effortless. And collagen does that for the body, especially when taken consistently every morning. Over time, people who add collagen to their morning coffee often notice improvements in strength, better recovery after activity, less joint pain, improved balance, and even increased muscle tone, not because collagen is acting like a steroid or a drug, but because it is removing the obstacles that were preventing muscle growth in the first place. Another overlooked benefit is that collagen supports tendon and ligament strength, which is essential after 60, because even if muscle begins to rebuild, weak connective tissue can limit mobility and increase injury risk, and collagen strengthens these tissues, allowing muscles to function properly and safely. Barbara O'Neill has always stressed that the body heals from the inside out, and when you support foundational tissues like the gut lining, connective tissue, and nervous system, everything else improves as a result, including muscle mass. It's also important to talk about what not to do, because many people unknowingly sabotage their muscle rebuilding efforts, even while doing healthy things. Drinking coffee with sugar or flavored creamers spikes blood sugar and insulin, leading to inflammation and insulin resistance. Skipping breakfast entirely and relying only on coffee increases cortisol and muscle breakdown. Relying on processed protein bars or shakes later in the day often overwhelms digestion and leads to poor absorption. Instead, the goal is to start the day with a gentle, nourishing signal. Collagen in coffee does exactly that. And then later in the day, you can include whole food protein sources like eggs, fish, legumes, or properly prepared meats, which the body can now actually utilize more effectively because the foundation has been set. Another powerful aspect of collagen is its effect on mitochondria, the energy-producing structures inside cells. Muscle cells in particular are packed with mitochondria, and when mitochondrial function declines, muscle strength and endurance decline as well. Glycine supports mitochondrial health, reducing oxidative stress and improving energy production, which translates into better muscle function and recovery. Many older adults feel tired and weak, not because they are lazy or inactive, but because their cells are struggling to produce energy efficiently, and collagen helps address that at a cellular level. Consistency is key here. This is not something you do for a week and stop. Rebuilding muscle after 60 is about sending the right signals every day. And the morning is the most powerful time to do that, because it sets the hormonal and metabolic tone for the entire day. It's also worth mentioning hydration. Collagen works best when the body is well hydrated, so drinking a glass of water before your coffee can further enhance the benefits, supporting circulation, nutrient delivery, and muscle function. Now, some people worry about kidney health when increasing protein intake, but collagen in moderate amounts is generally gentle on the kidneys, especially compared to high doses of isolated protein powders. And because it supports gut health and reduces inflammation, it may actually reduce overall metabolic stress on the body. Another fascinating benefit is collagen's effect on sleep, which may seem unrelated, but sleep is when muscle repair primarily occurs. Glycine has been shown to improve sleep quality by lowering core body temperature and calming the nervous system, and better sleep directly translates into better muscle recovery and growth. So, by adding collagen to your morning coffee, you're not just doing something in the morning, you're influencing what happens at night as well, creating a full 24-hour cycle of repair and regeneration. Let's talk briefly about expectations. This is not an overnight miracle, but within a few weeks, many people notice subtle changes: better energy, less stiffness, improved digestion, and over a few months, measurable improvements in strength and muscle tone, especially when combined with gentle resistance activities like walking, light weights, or body weight exercises. Muscle needs a reason to grow, but it also needs permission, and collagen gives that permission by reducing stress signals and improving nutrient utilization. One of the most empowering messages here is that rebuilding muscle after 60 does not require extreme workouts, expensive supplements, or complicated routines. It requires understanding how the body communicates and responding with simple, consistent nourishment. This approach aligns perfectly with Barbara O'Neill's philosophy of working with the body rather than forcing it, supporting natural processes instead of overriding them. If you've been feeling weaker, unsteady, or frustrated that your body doesn't respond the way it used to, this simple morning change can be a turning point, not just physically, but mentally, because regaining strength restores confidence, independence, and quality of life. To bring everything together, muscle loss after 60 is not inevitable. Your morning coffee can either accelerate breakdown or support rebuilding. Adding collagen transforms coffee into a healing, muscle-supportive ritual, and consistency is what turns small daily actions into powerful, long-term results. If you found this information valuable, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let me know in the comments what topic you want to see next, because your health, your strength, and your future are worth investing in every single day.